ATI Holdings is a newly listed equities and property investment company that also operates a financial education and training seminar business. I'm John Treadgold, and joining me today at the ASX Investor Series is the company's Executive Director, Clive Tan. Clive, welcome to FNN.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this event.
Now, ATI Holdings started trading on the ASX at the end of last year. How has the listing assisted your business?
Oh, I think it's been very beneficial to us. I think there were at least three things that I see that actually benefit us. One of which is in terms of our financial education products and services. It has actually done even better because people are seeing that, hey, this comes from a listed company. This is credible. This is something that people believe in, and the sales conversion ratio has went up. That's one of them. I think the second point is when in discussion with other business partners or business associates, we have a bit more say, if you know what I mean, to have our bargaining power has increased, and people believe that we will execute what we were going to carry out. So I think that's very important as well. And the third thing is a lot of private companies are also asking, exactly how we do it, and we are actually sharing with them, and we are actually working through, and they are more open to us having an acquisition stake in them. Yeah.
Okay, great. And for people not familiar with your business, what is the revenue split between the different parts of the business, and is that expected to change over time?
Yeah, actually our revenue, I would say roughly about 50% would come from our education, another 50% comes from our investments. But in terms of profit contribution, actually just about 10 to 15% comes from the education side. The 80 to 90% comes from our investments. So majority of our profit contribution comes from investments. So just to clarify, education side, actually it provides a cash flow for us, because in a lot of times people are forced to sell if they don't have no cash, if they have no cash flows in terms of their when they're investing, right? But because we have this education segment that provide us a platform, not just to reach out to more people, but also provides us to have our cost structure taken care of. We are not forced to sell, or when people are forced to sell, in market crisis or times like that.
Okay, great. And you recently sold 39.9% of CPA Academy, which you acquired in only February. How did this come about so quickly, and what did the transaction mean for ATI Holdings shareholders?
Yeah. Okay, that particular transaction, actually CPA Academy was actually using our training space as an education provider. They were doing internet marketing. And because we saw what they were doing, we were keen. We talked to them, and they were open to us taking a stake in them. Actually was focused, and when we first valued them, we are based on actually their education segment. As we know more about the business, as we went do our due diligence on it, we realized that they actually have online marketing, their cost per action aspect. And that part of the business can be scaled up very quickly. It's not just an education company, it's more of a tech company, if you know what I mean. And because of that, there were investors who were interested. We basically restructured the company. Right now we're in the process of, basically restructuring the company a little bit so that we can actually prepare it for another listing.
Great. And is this a key strategy, turning around businesses and selling them?
Well, we don't exactly turn around businesses. We actually look at businesses that's already profitable, cash flow generative, and they are already in good shape. Because I have learned in my own experience to turn around company actually is a very tough job to do. So we focus on good companies, we buy into them, and we actually support their growth.
Very good. And you're looking to acquire a 49.9% stake in Brisbane-based property developer Velocity Holdings.
Yeah.
What attracted you to the company, and how does that fit within the strategy of the group?
Okay, actually for Velocity Properties, this person, Brendan, was actually introduced to us by a mutual contact. And when I first went down to Brisbane to assess some of the property deals that he was offering, we actually collaborate with them for, I would say, close to 2 years now, to actually fund some of their property development projects. In fact, 3 of them. So after that, what happened is one thing led to another. The projects are, in good progress, and they are turning out fine. We are actually that's why they are open to us taking a stake, because what they realize that, for property development, it's actually a very capital intensive kind of business. And if you don't have capital, they can't grow. So it's tough for them to grow in that sense. So that's why we are going into them as an equity partner, and they are very open to us doing that for them.
Okay, great. And what are the terms of the transaction, and how does this measure up with the group's value investing principles?
Okay, I think there's a few things we looked at when we look at such acquisition. not just in terms of the business model. The business model must, of course, make sense. The founder himself actually, in a way, look for undervalued parcels of land. And that's what we like. It's not something that you bought on the market or something it's very difficult to get undervalued. But for him, he got most of the land undervalued. And not only that, because we look at also the management, and our assessment of management has been very credible so far and good. So that's why we actually took a stake in them.
Okay, very good. And with all these transactions, growth has been quite rapid.
Yes.
Is that sustainable?
Yes, it's definitely sustainable. In fact, in my opinion, right now we are on a growth path because we have grown tremendously over the past 6.5 years. In fact, we started off 6.5 years ago with just $1,000 capital. Today, we are grouped with 35 million, in shareholders' equity. And I think going forward, looking at the pipeline and the discussion that we are having with various companies, I think there'll be more to come.
Very good. Investors are certainly impressed with your progress. What else is in the pipeline that our viewers should keep their eye on?
Well, I guess we are definitely in talks with some parties, but these are all too preliminary to discuss because the way with negotiations and with talks is sometimes they are okay, sometimes they are not. So it takes some time to pan out. And when it's time, when it pan out, we will definitely make an announcement on the AXX.
Okay, good to know. Well, look, Clive, thank you for joining us on FNN.
Well, it's been my pleasure to be part of this FNN event.